Hey guys, what's up? It's Kersti Pitre and welcome to my online braid tutorial. You guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to do triangle parts on your own head or on your client's head. Whether you're a beginner or whether you're a professional, this tutorial is just for you. I'm going to be showing you the tools that I use, the technique that I use, and I'm going to be sharing some amazing tips for encouragement along the way. So without further ado, let's get started. With any braid style that you do, you want to make sure that you start on clean, freshly washed and blow dried, stretched, detangled hair. This is going to allow your braid process to be faster. Your braids are going to be neater, smoother, and just overall amazing. Now your first line isn't going to be neat. That's okay. You want to go ahead and make your part, pin your hair up, then get back in there, and you want to straighten out that part as best as possible. Starting with a straight part in the back is going to help everything else be nice and even once you get your way to the front. Now it's time to swipe that gel on. You're going to go ahead and use your pointer finger, whichever finger is going to apply the most pressure, and apply your gel to your part. This is going to make sure that any hairs that aren't supposed to be where they're not supposed to be, once you do your parting, they're going to move out the way. And by using a rat tail comb after you swipe on your gel, you're giving yourself a really precise part. So when you do this on yourself or on your client, do not be afraid to use a lot of gel. This is very important. Parts can make or break a hairstyle, just being honest. So you want to make sure that you try to get it as crisp as possible. Will it be perfect? No, nothing is ever perfect, but it could be very close to perfect. Now that I've applied my gel, as you can see, I am going to take my rat tail comb. You pin away the sections of hair that you don't need, once you made your part super neat, and then you're going to take your rat tail comb and you want to kind of like smooth up where the part is, as you can see what I'm doing here. And this is just going to allow you to see if you really made a clean part. And guys, there's no smoke and mirrors. I literally just used a handheld mirror and a mirror that was on the wall. This is exactly how I part the back of my head for these triangle box braids. You want to start with a center point. From that center point, you're going to make one angle on the left, and that is going to give you like a half triangle, and then you've already formed your first triangle on the left. Okay, and once you've got that situated, you're going to go ahead and tie off that section. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and complete your other half of your triangle. Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you right here. Just take the end of your rat tail comb and complete that triangle. Make sure that when you're parting, you take your time. I don't have the most steadiest hand that I know of, and I can still part. So taking your time when you're parting is going to allow you to have some super crisp and beautiful braids. Once you've made your parts, you're going to take your gel, your moisturizer, apply it to that section, and then a little trick that I've learned is that if you kind of twist the hair in this like circular motion, this kind of keeps the hair in place, and you can actually part several pieces of your hair and just leave it like that, and it's not going to revert as long as you use a good amount of gel. Now right here, I'm just doing my box braid, or shall we say triangle braids, and I'm just giving you a quick glimpse. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough in just a second, but I wanted you to see how I start my braid. And yes, I still have my mirror attached to that green scarf. I have 2 mirrors only, and I'm braiding the back of my head. You could do this too, girl. So don't get discouraged. If you have to start over, start over. The worst thing you can do is like just have a super messy braid. So if you want to have a super neat braid, just start over, comb out your hair, do it all over again. I promise you that's actually probably going to give you a neater braid. Okay, so just start the braid, finish it, go to the next one. Your hands are going to get familiar with braiding. They're going to get familiar with what doesn't feel right. So as long as you just do it, you're going to be good. Now the tips and techniques that I'm going to show you apply for jumbo braids, small braids, whatever size triangle part that you are doing. These tips apply, whether you're doing it on yourself or on someone else, whether you're a beginner or professional. Okay, y'all, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your comb and you want to separate your hair a little bit like this. You want to make sure that you already have your gel on there from when you first pre-parted everything. You're going to separate 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is going to help you if you are a beginner braider, learn how to keep all of your hair into the extension hair. So you're going to take your extension hair, you're going to get your fingers all ready. Okay, you have 3 legs, and you're going to take this leg and connect it with this piece. The middle leg is going to connect with this piece. The other leg will connect with this, and I'm going to show you right now.
Kersti Pitre.
See that? This last leg is going to connect with this last piece. And then, once everything is all connected, make sure it's kind of tight. You want to go ahead and start with these pieces up here. This is your real hair. This is the braiding hair. And you're going to make your first movement. And I'm pulling this to make sure that it's kind of, you know, this braiding hair is close to my scalp as possible.
Kersti Pitre.
Okay, then you're going to cross under. You're going to grab this piece here. Okay, when you cross under, you're going to grab the piece that was on top. Make sure you have your hair and the braiding hair. And you're going to cross back under and grab this right here. Okay, that's about 3 movements so far. You're going to keep doing that until you feel that your hair and the extension hair is nice and secure, and until you see that you have a nice knot here at the beginning of your braid. Once you have all of your hair in there, you can kind of braid it down. As you braid down, you want to smooth your hair and the braiding hair together. Okay? And for me, just by looking at this, I don't see any of my real hair sticking out, so it looks good. I'm going to switch my braiding positions now, like this. When you're braiding, you want to make sure that you separate your hair so it doesn't get tangled at the bottom. And I'll show you why this happens. Okay? You want to make sure that when you are braiding down, okay, watch this. When you braid, that's 1, here's 2, okay, you want to do this. It's almost like you're combing all the way through. If you do not, what's going to happen is it's going to tangle at the bottom. So I'm going to show you again. You want to do your braid movement, 2, 3. You see I'm not moving down. What's happening is the braiding here is getting tangled right here. Okay? So you want to make sure that every time that you make a movement, until all of your hair is in there, like this. Every time you make a movement, 1, pull through. Next one, pull through. Now I'm getting close to the end of my braiding hair. Okay? So I'm just going to take some of my gel on my fingertip. I'm going to rub it on my 3 fingers here. My thumb, pointer finger, and middle. Okay? And I'm going to continue braiding. And the reason I spread it on those 3 fingers is because it's going to get on all 3 strands as I continue braiding. If for some reason your hair is still sticking out, take your rat tail comb, you could smooth it down. If gel isn't working, try beeswax.
Produced by
So when you're braiding here, towards the end of your hair, you want to try to braid a little bit tighter. This is just to make sure your real hair doesn't slip out. So here I'm showing you, right, if you can see, you're going to go middle finger to grab the middle section of hair, and then your pointer finger to grab the other, and just keep rotating. Now, you're gonna see me do something that's not conventional if you are a professional braider. You're not gonna be putting your mouth anywhere near your client's hair, okay? But I am an at-home braider, and sometimes you have to make do with your situations, okay? So, to make sure that I'm not pulling on my real hair too tight, causing unnecessary tension, I'm going to actually, I know my real hair is right here, so there's no braid product here. So I'm actually going to hold this part with my mouth like this and then braid down. Once again, this is not a method that you want to use whenever you're braiding anyone else's hair. I do this for myself because this allows me to reduce the amount of tension that I am causing by braiding my hair all the way down. You know, sometimes when you're braiding, you pull on your hairline, your edges, and the back of the hair, and you can cause damage. So this reduces that tension. Do not do this on your clients, all right, girls? And you see, we're still following that same routine. You grab with your middle finger, twist it over. Grab with the other middle finger, twist it over. Okay, you guys, so a lot of you guys ask about the rubber band method. You're gonna take your rubber band, you take your section of hair. I've already applied gel to it. So you're gonna take it, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do not wrap it more than 4 times because I still need my braid to be flexible, and if it's too tight, it's going to pull and cause unnecessary tension. Pointer finger and thumb, okay? You're going to grab your real hair, and it's actually gonna go right into this little slit, and you're gonna close it, and it'll be meshed with this leg of braiding hair. Grab, and as you can see, it's right in there.
Kersti
It's right here with this braiding hair. See it? And then you're gonna go ahead and make your movements. So you're going to take this, cross under, and you're going to grab this one. Now you have your hair. You want to kind of pull a little bit to make sure that all of your hair plus the extension here is close to the root. Then you're going to grab it with your 3 fingers, and then you're going to move under. Grab, move under. Grab, move under. Grab, move under, pull through. Grab, move under, pull through. Simple as that. Okay, so here I'm giving you guys a glimpse of how I move on to the next section for those triangle parts. This is pretty much going to be repetitive, so you make your part, swipe your gel on, use your rat tail comb to clean up that line, and then you're going to start with your center point down the middle of your part and begin making your triangles. Don't forget to use your rat tail comb to smooth away the hair that you're supposed to be separating after you swipe on that gel for the most precise parts, okay? So I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse that when you're doing triangle box braids, you want to make sure that when you're doing your parting, you part from you know, ear to ear, next row, ear to ear, next row, you know, temple, all the way until the other side. Now, in order to get that triangle shape that you see here, I parted this section straight down the middle, and as you can see, I just made a half triangle here, and that's just to give me a guiding point. And I was able to create each shape based off of that one section here, okay? So you want to just continue on cutting out your triangle shapes until you get to the front. And it's a little easier to pin away the top pieces, and that way you could see how your triangles are looking. You can use your comb as a guide for your parting, so you can kind of tell, like, I need to be wider with my parting, or I need to be a little bit more narrow with my parting. So I'm going to kind of go like this, maybe a little narrow. Okay, then you section it off and you see where you're at. If it looks too narrow, if it's not really lining up with this, then you kind of want to do it over again. But if it looks good to you, then you can go ahead and pin it up. I think that it looks okay to me. So I'm going to pin it up out of my way. And I'm going to do my next angle. And again, you're going to follow that same kind of technique. You want to make it a complete triangle. Having this here helps you kind of see where you should be parting, okay? So this is about where we're at. This is about what we want to do. So you can either part at the bottom and kind of guess, or you could take it from the top, okay, like this, and go down. And let's see what we got. There we go. So now we have another triangle. Now, if you can see, this one is a little short. Okay, so we don't want a short triangle. Okay, so we're gonna do this again.
Produced by.
Make it a little bit wider. There we go. There we go. Now this is what you're looking for. You want to make sure it's a complete angle. This one, like that. This is what we're looking for. Slide it on in there. And there it is. Okay. And if your angle is not straight or angled how you want it, just kind of follow that line again until you get it pointy enough to your liking. We're going to pretty much finish off this section. You're going to pretty much do like that.
Kersti Pitre.
And that is your final triangles. Now see, wasn't that easy? I know you got this. So let me give you a quick close-up of how you want to prep your hair in your hands. You're going to take your hair, section of hair, and you're going to split it about 70%, 20%, okay? You want to cross it over to make like a T or a cross, and that's going to give you your 3 legs. I am using my thumb, middle finger, and pointer finger to hold on to this braiding hair, and that is how I'm able to grasp my real hair and put it with the braiding hair to start the box braid with a knot. Now, the reason that I'm using my 3 legs in my braiding hair plus 3 legs on my real hair is that I want to reduce the amount of slippage that's going to happen within my braids. So for me, I have really silky fine hair, so it doesn't take much for my braids to slip. So I started doing this to allow my hair to stay in the braids longer, and lo and behold, I'm able to keep my braids in for like 4 weeks whenever I split my real hair up. Whenever I try to do it where it's just one big piece of my hair, my braid just slips so fast, and I don't have time for that. The number one thing I could tell you guys is to practice, 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 and be encouraged. If your braid doesn't look right when you start, it's okay. Take it down and move on. Start that braid over, braid it till the end, move on to the next one. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck in that same braid. You got this, okay? So here's a close-up view if you're going to be braiding on someone else's hair or maybe practicing on your mannequin head. It's highly recommended that you get a mannequin head if you don't have a client or someone to practice your braids on, okay? Now you want to apply those same techniques of connecting your real hair with the extension hair. If you're not going to separate your real hair into 3 pieces, you can just take all of your hair in one piece and connect it with one of the legs, and you're just going to do your braid movements like normal. Grab with your pointer and thumb, go under and grab the next piece. Grab with your pointer and thumb, go under and grab with the next piece. And then you want to switch up your braid technique once you've got your hair already in that knot, and you're braiding like this, so that way your braid is nice and tight all the way down, and at least until your real hair can be seen no more. And this is what you should be left with, a nice neat braid with a nice knot, nothing too tight. Don't forget to apply your gel so that way you don't have any crazy flyaways. Alright guys, now it's time to seal the ends of your braids. You want to make sure that you have a kettle filled with boiling hot water. You want to make sure that you have your towel. Okay, make sure it's a nice thick towel. You can even have a second towel to put on your body to protect you from any water droplets, because this is extremely hot water. If you need somebody to assist you with this, make sure you get somebody, okay? So here we go. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of your braids. Here's your braid. Before you dip, you do want to make sure that you trim the ends of your braid, just to make sure that if there's any flyaways that you cut those off so your braid doesn't look matted, raggedy, and all kinds of messed up. So you're going to take your shears or your scissors, preferably hair cutting scissors. Then you're going to go to the end of your braid, and you're just going to cut along and snip away anything that is sticking out of the braid. It's best to cut as many of those away, because once your hair dries out from all of the water, once you dip it, you will be able to see every single teeny weeny little flyaway. Now be careful doing this, because if you're working with real shears, they are very sharp. Okay, and you can even take it as far as cutting the end, but I usually save that for after I dip my hair. But this is pretty much what you would do. You have a couple longer ends sometimes from stretching the hair. You could just cut it, okay? And then now it looks much prettier. Okay, now it's time to dip. Once again, make sure you have your towel handy. It needs to be directly in your hand after you dip, or on your body, so once you remove your hair from this boiling hot water, the braid lands directly on this towel, okay, and nowhere near your body. So here we go. Take your kettle. You're going to dip all of your braids, or a portion of your braids. You could section it in fourths or half. Okay, and you're going to dip your hair about 50% down. So about 50% down, you're gonna dip it, okay? You don't really wanna go too high up. You really just want the ends of the hair to be sealed, but I like to go this far because I like to do a lot of buns and styles like that. So once you are done dipping it,
Kersti Pitre.
get your towel, okay? And you're going to grab the braid, you pull it out, put your kettle down, and immediately squeeze and pull. I'm squeezing pretty tight. That's so that way the ends are nice and straight. You want to do it one more time just to squeeze out any extra water. Get your towel.
Kersti Pitre.
Okay, squeeze it and pull. That's going to
Produced by
squeeze out some of that hair. Alrighty guys, here's the difference between dipped braids and undipped braids. There are some braid styles where you're not gonna have to dip the hair, where it is, you know, essential, where it's not dipped, that allows the style to stay, you know, firm. It stays in a set place. But there are styles, like with box braids, you want to seal the ends off really nicely, and here you go. The difference is that this one is more flexible, as you can see, you know, I could do a whole lot of that. This one, she's kind of just staying there. So that's the biggest difference between dipping. Make sure you use a shine glosser or some kind of sheen spray or oil protectant spray, depending on the type of hair that you're using. You're going to spray it onto your braids. Okay, and that's just going to lock in any moisture in your real hair, and it's going to actually add a nice beautiful shine to your hair. Here are some products that I like to use whenever I'm doing box braids. I like to use a sheen, a glosser at the end of my style to add some shine. I always use some type of moisturizer, whether it's an oil-based or a cream moisturizer. I always use moisturizer. As far as gel is concerned, you want to use beeswax or you use a stronghold gel. Stronghold gel is going to allow your hair to stay in place, keep those flyaways down. You don't want to use any watery type of gels. You want to make sure that you use a Denman, Tangle Teaser, wide tooth comb to detangle your hair. And then your combs that you're going to use to braid are the rat tail, similar to these. Don't forget your edge brush, rubber bands, and of course your hair jewels to add that extra special touch of uniqueness. And you cannot forget your metal duckbill clips. These are going to be your saving grace whenever you're braiding your hair, and I highly recommend you invest in getting a portable kettle. You can purchase this at Target or Amazon. Speaking of products that you need, you cannot forget your braiding hair. Now it's up to you on the type of braiding hair that you use and the color. Do not forget to get some kind of tabletop that you could place your hair on top of, or you can use something like this. This is a thread rack you could purchase at Walmart, Target, Michael's. You could purchase at Amazon, and it helps to keep all of your braiding hair in one place, nice and organized, super neat, not all over the place, and your client doesn't have to hold it either.
Kersti Pitre.
And this is your most important item you're going to need. You're going to need a handheld mirror. You're also going to need to make sure that you have a mirror on your wall in your home or place where you're braiding. This is going to help you to braid the back of your head, to achieve parts in the back of your head. And yeah, my mirror's on a tripod. That's just how it goes sometimes. I'd like to thank you guys for purchasing this video and watching it. I hope that you guys learned some amazing tips, techniques, and tricks to doing your own braids on your hair. If you guys want any more special videos, make sure you DM me on Instagram, Facebook, at Kersti.Pitre, and I'll be sure to get that content uploaded just for you. See y'all later. Don't forget to stay channeling the beauty that's within inside of you.